Testing 1, 2, 3, and we are on. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Think. I am your host, Soraya Alexander, affectionately known as Soso. And welcome to my show tonight. It's going to be a very exciting show. It was a lot of aha moments for me today. And remember, tell your friends about the show. It is a show for everybody. This is not a Flabo show, a SLP show, a NOP show. This is the show for the people to come and think and rap with so and talk to me. Right? This is a show where we discuss everything. Everything St. Lucia, everything globally, everything. And tonight the show is very exciting because today I was like, people, I do not drink alcohol. I'm not into alcohol. But today, it was, and this is why I keep saying to young people, you guys need to listen to the House of Parliament, because you are the real movers. You are the real shakers of our country, of life, of everything. We need to take interest in those things, the young people, because as I said, we older folks, we are passing by, but you are here to stay. And it was a lot of aha moments for me today, listening to the House of Assembly, House of Parliament, same thing. Listening to what was going on, it was a lot of aha moments. I cannot believe we need to. You could be in your job, you could be at home, you can be in a sporting club, you can be in a church club. There must always be transparency and accountability. And I realize that about my people like you. I don't know if this is our culture, because this is not me. You will not find me involved in corruption. I will stop you dead in your tracks. And we had a nice discussion, over the weekend. I'll explain to you what. But support the show. This is your show, an exciting show. You support the show by purchasing a digital coffee to keep the show moving. So we are going to show you the coffee video. Sponsors, supporters, have fun. We're going to have some fun tonight. When you are a thinker of the show, you support us, you go, you purchase the digital coffees, you'll go support all the stars with the millions, buying stars, doing this for them. And what I realize in St. Lucia, we fight our people down. But we are here to persevere. We have approached some sponsors, so let's see what happens if they come on board, so we can keep true and honest information coming to the people of St. Lucia, because y'all know how I am. I'm a very honest person. I don't have time for back and forth and rubbish. Now, I was at the barbershop and we were talking, and then I said to the guys, if I am a member of parliament, I'm a minister of government, there is no way. My salary is $15,000. I get perks and whatever else I get, they belong to me. The people's money in the country is not mine. When contracts are tendered, that is not my money. I am there to see that honesty, integrity, accountability, transparency happens. And they said to me, no, don't mind that. You're saying that now. When you get in there and you're a member of parliament or you're a government minister, you will be tempted to be corrupt and steal. I'm like, hello? Tempted, corrupted, and stealing? If I ever get in a position where I am tempted, remember people, Jesus Christ was tempted. He was tempted by Satan, but he rebuked him. And this is what you have to do when you have integrity and when you follow God. You rebuke temptation. So I said to them, no, I'm not going to do that. They say, yeah, when you get in there, you'll do that. I said, no, I'm not going to get in there and do that. Because they said the love of money. And it is true. The love of money is the root of all evil. Now, love in the sense that you make it your priority and you cannot see anything else, because we all need money to survive. We all need money to take care of our families, okay? But to love it in such a way that you are corrupted. Now, it says, it really gave me another aha moment to realize that the thinking among the average St. Lucian is that it is okay to do a little bubble here, a little bubble there, a little thing there. Wherever you work, live with your integrity. Live with your integrity in as much as that you could say, hey, listen, you see me? I am not getting involved in anything that is wrong. And the only thing you can walk away with, people, is your integrity. You may go to your grave broke. That is okay. You may not go to your grave, being noted, but you living a clean, a good life and not yielding to corruption will speak volumes. Now, I am going to explain to you what is corruption. And let me tell you, corruption is in every facet of our lives and society. But the issue is we are not willing to say, hey, I don't want to be a part of this. And I'm sure many of you on the live, I'm sure many of you, there can tell me, many of you can tell me that, many of you can tell me of incidences where maybe you were told to do something that is not right. I will not do, let me tell you something, I won't lie for myself. I won't steal for myself. I won't cheat for myself. So far as if I'm in a position of accountability to do that. What is corruption? We define corruption as the abuse of entrusted power for private gain. The abuse of power, right? Entrusted power that is for private gain. And let me tell you, I'm looking at everything tonight from my country's perspective, because St. Lucia is only 180,000 people, 180K. We are too small of a nation. People, we have to think. We are too small of a nation to be so corrupted. We need to really look inwardly, look at ourselves. If we look at ourselves as human beings, as a person, as an individual, and say, hey, I expect the best from me, I expect to walk the straight and narrow, I expect to do the right things, then society would be better, because it's an individual decision not to be corrupted. Corruption erodes trust, weakens democracy, hampers economic development, and further exacerbates inequality, poverty, social division, and the environmental crisis. So people, I am speaking to you from a point of knowledge tonight to elucidate you that corruption stops with you. I will say it again. Corruption stops with you. Imagine, my people, if every responsible St. Lucian would look internally and say, I purpose in my heart to be a good person and to be an ethical person, when entrusted with whatever power, it could be in the church, in the club, whatever, sports club, wherever, government, that you do everything with dignity and honor. Now, when there is corruption in a society, at whatever level, it weakens, it erodes trust. And we can see it, people think. And this is why my show is called Think, for you to think. Because I believe many people are not thinking. Many people are just like whitewashed. And it's like, you know what, they go with the flow. We are living in a new era, a new dispensation, my people, where you cannot just say you're going with the flow. We all know the world ain't getting any better, but let us try to do whatever we can to make it a little better. So when corruption exists, it erodes trust, and we see it with many people in St. Lucia saying they do not trust the government. They do not trust this one. They do not trust that one. Confidence have to be rebuilt in our own selves and in those we have entrusted to run our government, even the places we may work or the things we may do or the associations we may be involved with. Trust is important, and I'm telling you, nothing kills. And you know that, my sweet people. Nothing kills more. Nothing kills more than when your trust has been eroded in someone. You don't trust this person again. It's going to take centuries upon centuries, and we only live, God allowed us 70 to live. So it's going to take a long period for us to rebuild. And I am seeing this happen in our country. Think, it's day in, day out is the same thing. I am seeing this happen in our country because people are looking for somebody to trust. But trust starts with you, because if you, an honest person, you are one who calls it as it should be, then those who govern us in whichever way will know that there are people, right? Will know that there are people they are accountable and responsible for. So corruption erodes trust, weakens democracy. And that's the worst thing for any country, any organization to go through, when democracy is weakened. And the fabric of most countries around the world, with exception to a few, is democracy. People having free will to think and to make informed and correct decisions. Right? I don't know. My nose just, but it's okay. Let's move on. Hampers economic development, and it is very true. When there is corruption, it hampers your growth and my growth. It breeds inequality because there is not a level playing field for all of us to grow. And I was saying to somebody yesterday, said Lucia is too small of a country for our country to be plagued with such poverty. I'll say it again. St. Lucia is too small of a country, of a nation, a dot on the rock, or on the map, like a dot on the map. Too small to be embroiled in such corruption. And equality happens when one person is dishonest. When one person think people, and you got to think people, you, like I say to people, you have to divorce yourself from situations, sit back with what is presented to you and think. You have to divorce yourself because people think of it. If there is corruption, one set will prosper and the other set will continue to remain in abject poverty. And this is what breeds inequality. And it's also, there is going to be a lot of social division. And we see it. We see how people complain. However, complaining is not enough. Your thought process, the way you think, the way you process information, try to process information free of personal persuasions, but think from the level of being balanced. Exposing corruption and holding the corrupt to account can only happen if we understand the way corruption works and the system that enables it. Did you hear what I say? Did you hear what I say? And I'm going to repeat it again for you so you could understand. Exposing corruption and holding the corrupt to account can only happen if we understand the way corruption works and the systems that enable it. Now today, I say all this to say, because we have to think. We want to live in a country where all of us are happy, where all of us have equal opportunity to jobs, to healthcare, to scholarships, and to whatever. Right? So we must never be part of a system that enables corruption. Now, today was a very intriguing day, and it is a start because we cannot say, oh, what goes on in the House of Assembly doesn't it's not our business or does not affect us. It does affect you. And I'll tell you why it affects you, because the $7.2 million where I said it's available for the young people and whatever, some have been messaging me, but many people don't know. Some asking me, where's the information, whatever. I said, but it was in the House of Assembly when they were presenting, the Prime Minister was presenting the information. People, you listen, let's talk, people, let's talk. People, you do not have to feel intimidated in listening to things pertaining to your country, like listening to the House of Parliament or listening to whatever. Listen to everything so you can know what is there for you and you to grab and seize the opportunity. So people are asking, where is the information? So you find people like myself have to give them the information, because they're not, even some of the older ones, they're not even listening to House of Parliament. I can understand, some people at work, they cannot really, be on their computer watching that and doing their work. Excuse me. But surely after, you could go and see what was being spoken about. You can. So do not say that you are not interested in what's going on. It is going to help us to have a better country. You must think for yourself. And this is what we have to change. St. Lucia should not have all this poverty. No way, no shape, no how. So my people, we are going to take a short coffee break right now. Now, come on. Support the show. Tell your friends. Share the live. Because this is the place you get truth. We not on no magie here. We are here for you to think. This is the place you get truth. Support a worthy cause. This is the only show in St. Lucia at that quality, at that level, to give you this sort of information with my team. So support the show so that we can change, not for anybody else, but for ourselves and our country to move forward. Now, the Prime Minister in the House was talking today about the special prosecutor bill. And, I listened. And this is a step in the right direction. Because if you work certain places, right, there is an accounting department, a financial controller, and the other people underneath them, the auditors, that when you are in those people organization, at the end of the day, monies, entries going into the various ledgers and everything, there are people at the end of the day generating reports to see what happened. And they can track that you are doing something wrong. I must have tracked how many people in my career stealing how much money and they didn't pick it up, but I picked it up. So you must have checks and balances, right? You must have checks and balances in place to stop corruption. And what is being passed is good. It's good for everybody. We need accountability, in the public service. We need accountability for those who run our country, as in Prime Minister and whatever. Because what he said, the Prime Minister said the special prosecutor bill is for all. And people, we need to think. This is why my show is here for you to think. And this is why it is your duty. And I think one thing that really has to be done, and now I'm understanding what a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are saying, sometimes they are driving, they are at work, the senior citizens, they would need to have a national radio station where they can hear those things, and which I agree, because some of those people do not have the internet service or whatever, but their little radio keeps them as a companion. And sometimes in your vehicle driving, you can listen. Not everybody that have data on their phone to listen, and data is expensive. And when you put the data icon on to run on your phone, it kills your battery. So we need to look into a national radio station for the people of St. Lucia, okay, and for it to be run in a proper way. So what he said, and what I want to tell my thinkers tonight, it was said that if you, as a citizen or somebody doing business with the government in terms of the government service, public officials, and even members of parliament or ministers of government, and if you as an individual, now this is where I think they should have really expounded upon, that you as an individual feel that something was done wrong, slighted, corruption, you have an avenue to bring your complaint to the special prosecutor. How many of you know that? Because this is why I want you all to think. Because many people are thinking, it is only for the politicians, when they do their bubble, when they do this and that. No, my sweet thinkers. It is for all of us that if we go into a transaction or trying to get business with a public or government official or whatever, and something is not right, and you have the evidence, not being spiteful and just looking to bring people down, but you have your info, you take that info and you present it to the special prosecutor. Now, corruption is something that can prevent investors. I have to make you all think, and I have to make you all really start opening your mind, your thought process. Because let me say something to you people. Let us think of our country as a whole. Let us think of our country being great and that we all can get employment. We all can live happily in our country. If a country is considered very corrupt, what happens is that it prevents investors from coming into our country. Now, as I have always said to y'all, we need to diversify our economy. We cannot only depend on we cannot only depend on tourism, and we have realized what tourism has gotten into, because 2020 COVID, it threw them down, and I think they're starting to pick up. So we have to broaden our minds. That is our responsibility. Thinkers, all my thinkers, as I said to y'all, share the live, tag your friends. This is where the meat is for you to think. This is a place to harvest to grow, to plant your seed, and for it to grow and for it to harvest it, because you are going to learn a lot from this show. Your thought process, because when you go to many other places, you know what you're going to start saying? Oh, I remember that lady, I remember that lady, so always telling us to think. Let's think before we make that decision. Let's think. You could be in your boardrooms and y'all besides yourself not knowing what to do, y'all say, oh, y'all remember that show, think so tell us to think. Okay, so let's just take some time and let's look at things from different perspectives. Let's look at this, let's look at that, and you will see how much you'll grow. This is a show where you should be. We are different, and that's a show you should support. That's a show you should be sharing. That's a show you should be on, because you shouldn't be afraid. Excuse me, you shouldn't be afraid to come under my life. And let me warn everyone who comes under my life, there shall be no bullying. There shall be no, how will I say it? No insulting people if they disagree with you, as long as it's being done respectfully. If you're not doing it respectfully, the moderator is going to simply block you. Okay? So let this show, the comments under the show, let it be one of intellectual discourse and not the usual rambling, blaming this one, blaming that one. Let us be a community of thinkers to change things around. Let us think. This is the show. This is the place where you have to be. And as I was previously saying to you, if a country is very corrupt, it's going to make it very difficult for investors to come in. And I believe moving forward, we may see a change in investors coming to St. Lucia. And let me tell you why. Because of the new special prosecutor bill being passed, it may give the investors a certain level of confidence that they are able to come and invest their millions in St. Lucia. This is why I tell you, here is the place for you to learn. I am going to show you a bar graph. Corruption Perception Index Score of St. Lucia between 2012 and 2021. Now, the higher it is, it means that the country is not corrupt. The lower it is, it means the country is very corrupt. Now, I want to live in a country where we get loads of investment, because I saw, before I really explain the graph, somebody, I think it's my son that was saying that to me. There's a young lady who wrote something about what is there to do in St. Lucia. All there is to clubbing, fetting, and nothing else. There's no amusement park. There's nothing where people can just go and relax and have fun. Now, this is why I keep saying St. Lucia is only 180K. St. Lucia could have been, the envy of the earth. Because when we listen to what our people want and not what we think they want, our country must prosper. Because sometimes you may say, oh, a nice dark chocolate guy is good for so. He will be a good husband. And where so is shabbing men so like? It's just an analogy. It's just to make you laugh, people. And where's his nice shabbing men so like? So you see, so you telling me what I need, and it's me so that know what she needs. She don't need a chocolate guy, she needs a shabbing guy. So it is the same with politicians and with the world. Even we as parents thinking what we think our kids should have, whereas we have to listen to our children. And many children, many children have gone astray or have become rebellious because of parents. Now let me tell you why. I remember this child wanted to be a musician or whatever, but an accountant, and the parents forced this child, oh, you have to be a doctor. The child went to do it, and the child was very disgruntled, became a doctor, left that, and went and do what he or she really wanted to do. So this is where the conversation have to start, my thinkers. This is where the conversation has to start. The conversation have to start with what does the person need, and not what I think the person needs. So this is why when I saw this person saying there's nothing to do, and this young lady is right. If it's not clubbing, fetting, cinema, what else is there for the young people to do? Or not only the young people, no, what else is there for you to do? I can pick up myself, go sit in a restaurant by myself, eat and whatever, and come back on my own. I'm fine with that. Because when you grow old in age, you already want to be out there. But the younger ones need things to do. Those still in their 40s, although I know some in their 50s, they all over still. But we need to think of what people need and not what you think they want. So let's go to the graph, my people. So, as I said to you, the Corruption Perception Index score of St. Lucia between 2012 and 2021, the higher it is, as I've previously said, it means that the country, right? It means that the country is not very corrupt. In 2012, we were 71%. So, also in 2013, we were 71%. 2014, 71%, and in 2016 we went down to 60%. Now stay with me, and this is where I win a lot of people on facts, on presenting the facts to you. It is there, you can have a look. You can have a look to see. Right? Now, 2016, it went to 60%, which is not good. 2017, we went down to 55. 18, 19, 55, and 2021, we went down to 56%. So the lower it is, it means that our country is very corrupt. And this is why I present information to you. Okay? My source is Transparency International. Right? Information is there. I can understand sometimes people don't know where to find the information, but information is there, and you need to, those who can, go research. So it means that we need to build investor confidence in coming back to our country. Because if investors do not come to our country, we are going to have massive unemployment. People are going to go hungry. It's not going to be good for us as a people. So we can see 2012 to 2006 to 2014, 15, it was good. And then it started going down from 2016 to 2021. Now, to be honest, if you look at the last 5 years, there was not many investors in St. Lucia. So right now, you and I have to think of ourselves in order for us to survive. So that bill being passed, like I'm telling you, my thinkers, come on people, share the live, tag your friends. That's the show you have to be on for you to think. Because I am not taking anybody's side. I am speaking truth to power so your mind, your thinking can be expounded. Excuse me. So, we need to get that figure up. Maybe back to 80. Right? Because what the figure is saying to me is that the ease of doing business in St. Lucia is very corrupted. To do business in St. Lucia is very corrupted. You may have to pass bribes or whatever under the table. And we do not want that. And I believe the special prosecutor bill is more for us as a people to ensure that we hold our public officials accountable. So right now we should be very comfortable in doing negotiations with governments, public officials or whatever, because there is a bill, a special prosecutor bill protecting us. And when there are bills like this, what it does, my people, it prevents people from being corrupt. It curbs it, because we cannot continue with bribery, even insider trading. We cannot continue with this, right? And what we also need in this country, thinkers, let us just think country. What we have to think of in this country is protection for our whistleblowers, for people who may see things that are not right in the government service, because people will see things but they are afraid to talk. But we want our country to be great again. So what do you say? And this is food for thought. This is good meat I am giving you, my people. This is good meat I am giving you. This is not a show to be taken lightly. This is a show for everybody. So we're going to take a little break, As I said, this is the show you have to support. This is not a show that is one-sided. This is a show that causes you to think and be part of the thinking team. Okay, people, as I have said, support us. We're doing a lot of good work to open your thinkers. Like I say, it's an open show. All are welcome. So I am going to put you in the know of the special prosecutor bill so you know what it is there. And as I have said, people, that bill is more for us. That if we want to do a little contract for $500,000 and we do our negotiation and whatever, for nobody to come and tell us, okay, I'm going to give you the contract for $500,000, but you have to tender or you have to say the works cost $1 million. So if you encounter a case like this, you have to bring it to the special prosecutor, because we cannot continue. Because people, let me explain to you. If we continue doing this in this country, our country is going to go broke and there's going to be a lot of inequality, meaning the people on the lower end of the economic stick or line, they would be the ones suffering. So in the no special prosecutor bill, the special prosecutor seeks to deal with corruption in the public service, investigation and prosecution of corrupt conduct of public officers and public officials. Okay, the special prosecutor's role does not conflict with the function of the DPP. Now, I remember I was speaking about this on my other show, saying that the special prosecutor cannot in and of itself operate on its own. It had to be part of the judiciary, the legal framework, and fit into there, and apparently that's what they did. So the special prosecutor's role does not conflict with the function of the DPP. If you don't know what DPP means, it means Director of Public Prosecution, Attorney General, Parliamentary Commissioner, Integrity Commission, and Finance Intelligence Authority. So that is a special prosecutor, but it does not interfere with the DPP, Attorney General, Parliamentary Commissioner, Integrity Commission, and Finance Intelligence Authority. Now, I believe that, and I've always been saying that every minister of government or public official, even to the highest grades, PS grade 19, whatever, they need to present all the assets to the Public Commission, Integrity Commission, as to what you came with and what you are living with. And to me, I'm just getting a little aha moment here, people. And to me, if the Integrity Commission was operating or functioning properly, we may have stalled a lot of corruption, because they would say, okay, you enter into public office with $500,000 in assets. You are now leaving with $10 million in assets. How did that happen? And then you would have to show the paper trail, the paperwork as to how that happened. So to me, the Integrity Commission could have stopped many things, but it was not working. We see. So this is why we have the special prosecutor. People, these are the things, think, my thinkers, these are the things that we really have to be cognizant about. But we're not. Okay, a person who has reasonable grounds to believe. Now, this is what I was explaining to you previously, because a lot of people would hear the special prosecutor bill and they would think, oh, it's for politicians, it's for government official, public official, it's for you too. And this is why I need St. Lucians to think. They are not thinking. St. Lucians prefer the railroad, the bacchanal, the méprisé, but the things that would push you forward. Anything that's going to push you forward takes time and takes you divorcing yourself from the noise and focusing on you. A person who has reasonable grounds to believe that a public officer or public official has committed an act of corruption may make a complaint in writing to the special prosecutor. So it is there for you, my people. And this is why I keep telling you, this is the show you come to learn. We show you the evidence. We show you the graph. We show you things. We inform you. Our show is not a show to take calls, because calls can really take away from the fabric, the core of your show. So this is a show that will continue informing you to think. I know people like the Roro shows, and no, we're not about that. We are about that you use your thinking cap, you think. This is what we want you to do. Now, my people, I saw something today that so I hope my thinkers, you are thinking. Are you thinking? Are you thinking? Are you thinking? Are you thinking? I think, oh, let me say a special good night to Essie. Essie, thank you, Essie. You're such a wonderful Miss Essie Peters. Let me say hi to you, darling. Hope you're good. Hope everything is okay. And let me tell you something, my sweet people. Let me tell you something. I have some really good supporters of my last show who still are with me, and I want to thank you all for that. So keep supporting the show. There was a press release by the Ministry of Equity, and apparently our homeless people on the streets are being harassed, are being mistreated, right? Apparently, they are being beaten up. And from what I understood is young 13, 14-year-old boys who are actually going out of their way on the streets of St. Lucia and beating up the homeless people. And the Ministry of Equity was very disgusted about the increasing assaults against the homeless people. People say persons. Persons is grammatically wrong. It is wrong. It is people. I don't know why people keep saying persons. I try not to use that word. So the police force, they are involved to ensure this stops. But young people, let me speak to you, the 13 and 14-year-olds that I understood that are doing this nonsense. These people, we do not know their situation. We do not know why they became homeless. And to think a young person with common sense, or should have common sense, are taking sticks to beat the homeless people when they lie down on their cardboard, wherever they are in the city or wherever they are, you take a stick to beat them. This is wicked. This is wicked. And I hope that you get my message and you desist from this practice. You're beating up these old people. We don't know what happened to them. We don't know their situation. We cannot speculate. But you beating them up, it's ridiculous. I heard y'all torment the people with sticks and just beating them up. That cannot be right. Again, y'all are not thinking. And I'm saying, if many of us took the time to think, we would save ourselves a lot of heartache. If many of us took the time to think, we would save ourselves a lot of heartache. But we don't think, we do what we want, we do not care. We do not care. Remember, you are the one responsible for your actions. Because people tend to say, oh, I did that, I didn't think he make me do that. No, you did it by yourselves. Because if you took time to think, that would not happen. And this is why I am telling you, young people, and I have a lot of young people who are following me. Y'all need to be here, but my kind of discourse may not be what you want to hear, because y'all want to be in the road, the bacchanal, whereas this discourse here will push you forward. So we are going to take another break at this time. And people, this is why I am asking you to think. When you think for yourself, you will be in a better position and you will save yourself a lot of harm and pain. Go to the prisons and speak to any of the inmates, and they would say to you, had I thought about the consequences of my actions, I would not have been in jail today. People don't think. People are ruthless. People do what they want. But we must be able to account for our behavior. It's the same way if you're in a public event. You should know how to control yourself. You're in church, you should know how to control yourself. You're in public office, you should know how to control yourself. And I want to set up that kind of vibe for my show and for St. Lucians to say, oh, y'all remember what so say think. Y'all heard what she said, think. Let us all think before we take action, because we want our country. We want our country to be great. Let us think of our actions. Let us think of what we are doing. And tonight I presented you with information, food for thought. I am not going to overload you or overwhelm you, but I give you enough information for you to think. Share the live with your friends. Sit, talk to. This is the show. This is not the blah, blah, blah. This is the show that will give you the facts, give you the information. Right now, the ball is in your court to ensure that our country runs well. The ball is in our court. So we have to do what we have to do. So remember to think and share the live. Tell your friends. Let me tell you. And some of you really cannot think for yourself. If I share so live, they will get vexed with me. They will tell me I support in so. If I comment on so Facebook page, they are going to get vexed with me. It means you are not thinking for yourself, and other people hold the power to your thinking. I will see you on Thursday, if God spare, at 8 p.m. Have a good evening.